All right, so this is my story from average to the #1 free trial boutique healthcare marketing agency in Australia. So let's get straight into it. First of all, how did I get started? So I've been doing digital marketing for 2+ years. I've ran my own agencies. I've worked with many agency owners as a byproduct of that being actually my niche. Like I was helping agencies get more clients. I've also ran digital marketing campaigns for every niche you can think of and have experience in almost every field of digital marketing. So who have I ran digital marketing for? Ran digital marketing for real estate agents, B2B companies, or like agencies, law firms, accountants, cleaning businesses, landscapers, gyms, e-commerce, and many more. So the types of digital marketing I've done is Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, which is search engine optimization, web dev, email and SMS marketing, automation, AI chatbots, funnels, content. And yeah, that's pretty much the premise of it. And the problem with my most recent agency, so I was running a lead agency for B2B companies using cold email. So what I would do is I would set up high-tech advanced infrastructure to send tens of thousands of cold emails per month per client. There was a point where we're doing over like 100, close to 150,000 cold emails sent per month for across all our clients and ourselves, to get them more sales calls booked in their calendar. And everything was going really well until a lot of changes in the industry were happening, right? So the problem was the email service providers like Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, Zoho, they're actively trying to crack down on cold emails, especially from people like me. So the results were having a massive dip. And for those of you who don't know what cold email is essentially like a cold call, but over email. So we would reach out to other business owners and we would present them an offer in hopes that they would want to work with a company, right? And we were doing this at a super large scale, as you can see here, with like the high-tech infrastructure. And before, I was able to get super quick results from my clients, but since Gmail and Outlook were trying to crack down on this, the results took a massive dip, and you would need a lot more things other than cold email. So you would need content, you would need to be running ads, you would need lots of social proof and case studies, which a lot of my clients weren't willing to do. And that's when I kind of knew that I had to pivot my agency. I can talk a lot about this, but that's a time for another story, right? Okay, moving on. So just a quick context for my co-founder. So he's worked in 3 out of 5 biggest agencies in Australia, like actual office locations, mainly in Melbourne. And essentially, we wouldn't hire any of them ourselves. Certainly wouldn't recommend our parents to go to any of them. It was like a certain type of experience where we just didn't love, or he didn't love, the way the business was operated or run. There was no personalization at all. Like a client was treated like a number for them. The sales guys would promise the dream, marketing and all their ads would promise the dream. And they were so determined to grow their own agency as quickly as possible and aggressively that they would be hiring people, and we're not exaggerating when we say this, it's people from Kmart, Kohl's, Woolies, to manage hundreds of thousands of dollars in ad spend. So imagine you're a business owner, you want to go with an agency, and you realize the person that's actually running your ads is someone who just, like a few weeks ago was running through the checkouts at Kmart. I would be very concerned, right? And the whole point of agencies is to make the most out of people who do this for a living, not to get some underskilled people from the checkouts of Kmart or cheap labor from overseas, which is what they were doing, right? So I met my co-founder in an online community that we both paid for. We had perfect opposing skills. So what I was good at was copywriting, advertising, managing clients, and he was good at the back end of running campaigns, technology, and AI. And it kind of just made sense to partner up, because while I was going through the dip of my previous agency with the cold email stuff and Gmail and Outlook trying to basically ban us and crack us down, it was getting a lot more expensive to generate leads. And there's so many changes where it was very, very difficult to keep up. And whereas my co-founder, he's been working at all these different agencies, trying to find the one that he can, work for long term, but none of them resonated with him because, as he said, it was all about over-promising and under-delivering, and they were treated like numbers. He wouldn't recommend his parents go with them. So he was looking at already starting an agency for himself. However, he didn't have the managing client skills, the copywriting, or the advertising skills, as well as someone like me, right? And that's when we kind of, came together and we decided to partner up. We knew that we wanted to niche down to just one industry. And we realized from our experience and the agencies we ran and worked for and worked with that most agencies do everything for everyone, right? So if you have case studies and great results in one industry, how can you expect to get that same result for another client in another agency, let alone another service, right? So if I was getting really good results for a chiropractor client, how can I go ahead and say, oh, you can get the same results as this chiropractor client to a real estate agent? It wouldn't make sense, right? And this was the dilemma we were having until we realized, what better way to refine our service by only serving the same type of client. That way it's repeatable and we know what works. Historically, after heavily analysis, we realized we were both able to generate great results and new patient bookings for our healthcare practices. So these are dentists, chiropractors, osteos, physios, nutritionists, psychologists, and so on, right? And also we were thinking about what type of digital marketing we should do. So that was the other dilemma, right? Like what service should we actually run? And we knew for healthcare practices, it had to be some sort of paid advertising since it makes sense for the industry. It doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't take a huge amount of capital to get started. It's just a lot easier without changing everything else in your business, right? Also the fact that we've collectively, between me and my co-founder, have managed millions of dollars in ad spend for our clients throughout the years. So we know a thing or two about paid advertising, right? So now the next question was, should we do Facebook ads or Google ads? Because they're the main sort of paid advertising you do. And we thought of doing both until we realized we should just master one of them and be the absolute best in the industry, right? Like imagine we get 50% good at both or 100% good at one. We'd rather be 100% good at one. So why did we end up choosing Google ads over Facebook ads? So Facebook ads do work. However, we realized the lead quality isn't as high as Google ads, right? So Facebook leads need work to get converted into a patient booking, right? So we need to call them, you need to follow up, you need to nurture for a long time because maybe they're not ready to buy, right? If you think about it, these people on Facebook and Instagram, they're scrolling through cat videos, dog videos, and they don't have as high intent, right? So you actually need to work those leads to convert them from a random person who just saw your ad to an actual new patient booking, right? Most healthcare practices don't have sales teams or their receptionists just aren't trained on converting a high volume of leads, which many of them are low quality and need a lot of work to convert, right? Like why should they be trained? So their job is to do tasks so that the practitioner can actually service more patients, right? So with Google Ads, you can target the top 3% of the market who are actively searching for your service and have the money aside to book in, right? And if you think about it, if you had a health problem and you wanted to find a practitioner, what would you do? You would search on Google. So my co-founder was very skilled in running the back end of Google Ads, whereas I was good at the front end copywriting and keyword research. So it made sense to go with Google Ads over Facebook Ads. Next is our values. So we value honesty, right? We pride ourselves on brutal honesty. The healthcare digital marketing landscape is ruthless to not only survive, but thrive. So we tell you what you need to hear, whether you like it or not. And we believe that successful partnerships are built on trust from day one, which is why we're willing to do free trials in the first place, because that's our main offering at this time. Next is integrity. So our moral compass is unwavering. We manically obsess over our clients' brands, partnerships, and results. We treat it as if it were our own business, right? We really are on the same side, and when you win, that's when we win. So therefore your practice's advertising campaign is the embodiment of incomparable excellence. Next is transparency. So we believe in transparency in its purest form at all times, no hidden work, no intellectual property, no excuses, right? We're revolutionizing the standard of agency and client relationship. All right, next is, I'm sure you've heard this saying, fastest growing marketing agency, right? I know you've heard it before, like everyone says it, and I can put my hand up and I've definitely said it before, right? And I can name 5 to 10 other agencies who currently hold that same title because anyone can just make up these terms, right? However, we as an organization and an agency have taken a firm step back on this. We are not the fastest growing agency, not by a long shot, and we don't even want to be. Like in hindsight, I'm not sure why we ever would want to be. Like while the idea of being the fastest growing agency does show you're good at marketing, but it also shows a complete disregard of your clients and your partners. Because growing fast causes things to break. Growing fast means either hiring fast, which can be a massive mistake, And like my co-founder talked about with his previous experience working in other agencies, hiring underskilled people or cheap overseas labor, right? Or being under-resourced and underserving your clients and overworking your employees, right? And I can proudly say that Practice Conquest is a slow and steady growing agency where we truly care about our client relationships and client results. So yeah, our team has worked with a bunch of other practices at this point. And yeah, I want to talk about why we're offering free trials. So as far as we're concerned, we're the only agency in Australia at the moment offering free trials to our clients. No upfront fees, no strings attached, and no obligation to continue. Our financial compensation is only possible if people decide to continue working with us after the trial. So that puts all the risk on us, right? We can do all this free work for absolute no gain. And because of all the bad players in the industry and the places where my co-founder used to work at, we have to adapt since most practices have been burnt by agencies. So if we decide to, ask our clients to pay up front, a lot of them would be like, no, I've been burnt before. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you have as well, which is why we're willing to offer a free trial. But also why we're offering a free trial is because our results speak for themselves. We know that some practice owners will take advantage of us as a freebie and like, oh, you may as well try it. I'm not that keen on doing this anyway. It's free. I may as well. But we're perfectly fine with that because we know that a percentage of trials will end up becoming long-term paying clients, which is why we're able to take on that risk, which is why we're able to lose money in the front end, because we know that based on the results we're able to get on these trials, a lot of them will end up becoming paid clients anyway, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be offering free trials like none of our competitors would even think about doing, right? Anyway, this is just a quick bonus on how to know if your agency is ripping you off. So as an agency dedicated to transparency and honesty, I thought I'd like to start peeling back the curtain on how agencies rip off their clientele from our past experience working with and working at in other agencies, right? So let's just talk about Google Ads because that's what we do, like the red flags. A lack of clear and concise reporting on the metrics that matter. So like cost per lead, return on ad spend, and muddying up reporting with acronyms and metrics in an effort to hide poor results is a common tactic, right? Next is constantly adjusting campaigns that are working. Anyways, a great Google Ads specialist I used to work with referred to Google Ads like a good campaign as a bonsai tree, which is small adjustments over time leading to a perfect campaign. You don't want to be repotting and taking off branches every other week. Like one of two things are true if they're just big adjustments happening to a successful campaign. So one, they're experimenting with new ideas with your ad spend, which is wasting your money for their education. Or number two, they don't feel confident enough in their service to say to a client that they only made a handful of small changes in a month, as that is what is their best interest of the campaign. I.e., making big adjustments gives them something they can report on at the end of the month to justify their retainers, right? And the absolute worst thing an agency can do to you is own your ad account. So you as the business owner must own your advertising channels. If your agency won't give you access or ownership, run fast. So what we do and what the good agencies out there are doing is we actually let the clients create the account and then they give us access. So that way, if we don't end up working together, they still have all our work there and they own all the traffic and leads, right? So if they ever refer to intellectual property or IP as to why they can't tell you what they're working on, this is usually a tactic to avoid telling you that they aren't doing that much, right? And you're just a number to them. Anyway, our 20-year vision for Practice Conquest. So we are thinking in decades, not years. We want to be the go-to digital marketing agency for healthcare practices in Australia and then the world. So right now we're offering Google Ads just because that's what gets the best and fastest results for new patient bookings for healthcare practices. Then we will expand to other services like Facebook ads, web development, funnels, content, whatever, right? And we will have different offers where practice owners can either choose to make us do the marketing for them, do the marketing with them on a coaching basis, or give them all the info for them to do it themselves. And we'll eventually have a community of like-minded practice owners looking to level up their digital presence and just get more patient bookings in general. And from this community, we'll find ways to increase patient bookings outside of digital marketing as well, right? I mean, this is just a 20-year vision. This is what we have in mind right now. It's obviously subject to change. But yeah, like we want to help them with their interior design, rapport with patients, structuring appointments, and so many other things to just increase the overall experience and well-being for patients so that we can get more patients booking in, right? And yeah, the reason why we want to get more patient bookings in the first place is to help those in need. So the reason why practice owners start their practices is because we're in a time where people need more healthcare than ever. And if we increase our clients' patient bookings, then more patients will be helped. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. So yes, we love getting results for our clients. And yes, we love going at a slow, steady pace for our own business. But the main thing here is to help the consumer and to help the patient get the healthcare that they deserve as humans. So yeah, that's our story and that's our vision. Hope you guys enjoy it and hope you guys get a better context on why we started Practice Conquest and what it means for us to do the work we're doing, as well as our long-term vision for the business. But yeah, we kind of made this video just for ourselves to look back on, but also just to give you guys a better context. If you're on the fence on doing a free trial with us, or you're just wondering why we're doing what we're doing, why we're even able to offer free trials, hope this gives you more context. But yeah, that's it. My name is Matteo, co-founder of Practice Conquest, and this was our story. So yeah, hope to see you guys on the next one.